All right, hello everyone. We've got, I want to share today, we have a new resource site. It's currently mainly for membership staff, but we want it to be a resource for the whole branch. The idea is we have lots of different systems here at the Y, and this is an effort to bring it all together for our frontline team so that we can have more seamless and efficient communication between our staff and members. With this, it's going to have both association resources that are going to be Gateway region wide, as well as branch specific resources that we can use to support our own teams. I want to start off on our membership page. This is an area where Calvin and Amy and leadership team can have both our where we're currently at, and then also some resources for different lead lists that we can use during sales campaigns, possibly even having our member challenge types of resources on here, and all of those different pieces that may be sent through email currently, but it's going to show you another place where you can access that information. For instance, numbers to date, this is always a consistent spreadsheet that we have that's sent out usually every few days, especially during a campaign, probably every day. And it's always a live link. So on here, then you're going to be able to just go right to this site and see all of that information at your fingertips. From there, you for the different lead lists, these are actually all links right now. So they're going to link right to those different systems that we have, such as Salesforce, Daxco, and everything that we use in the membership department. This is going to be a little bit of a mock-up right now. I imagine that will change it over time. But to give you an idea, for Salesforce right now, we have when somebody visits the Gateway Region YMCA website and they're interested in the Try the Y Pass, or they want some more information, maybe they're going through our membership page and they have some extra questions and they want to be connected with one of our team, they fill out a web to lead form, and that's usually emailed to membership director or one of the specialists or a lead within your department. And this is going to give you an opportunity to click this button. It's going to bring you right to that report. So for instance, right when I click member inquiry web to lead, it's going to pull up Salesforce and then show me my current leads. Similarly, these other types of leads, some of our biggest buckets that we have are going to be guest passes, pass terminations, program participants. Each of these links then is going to be a report then either through Daxco, through Healthways, or one of our systems. Pass terminations, for instance, will go right to Daxco, and then from there you're able to filter out whatever time frame or whatever types of information you're looking for. So just a way to take things that are currently available to us and present them in a different way and put them, all our different lead lists into one spot, so that way you can, when you're really searching for those last few prospective members, it's all in one spot, so you can make sure that you're checking off everything on your list. From there, as we go through this website, you'll notice a few things that are consistent. The top bar is always consistent, and those are going to be the different categories within this site. At the bottom, then, we're going to have links to our most used systems, such as Daxco, Raptor, different YUSA resources, and then the Kronos time clock and timesheet. So no matter what page you're on this website, all of these will be available. And so therefore, if you're at the front desk and you already have a bunch of tabs open, it's just another way to access that information. Along the top bar, these are largely association-wide program areas. Right now, we're currently in membership. Under branches, these are going to be individual branch pages where you can have your branch calendar, a way to log prospective members that I'll show you in a moment, and also your work order system. So when something's entered in, it's a way for your team to do a quick check to see if it's something that's already entered, and if it, let's say they're looking to find out when the hot tubs returned are going to be back in order, I'll show you how to access that information on there. Program areas, these are our PMTs. So we already kind of looked at the membership PMT drive right here. This one is going to go through our aquatics department, health and wellness, and really be a spot to help aid in really training our staff to show different videos that we have available to explain the different programs, as well as different resources that describe them more in depth. Training, this is really for onboarding our new staff. It really talks a lot about the history of the Y. Under systems, that's where we're really going to show, there's 10 to 12 different ones. It's going to show how they all work together. SOPs and forms. So what I'll do right now is I'm going to start with our branch-specific pages. So I'll give you an example. We're going to go over to the Carondelet Y. So this could be a good option to have maybe set as your homepage, that one that you go to whenever you open a new tab, because these are going to be things that are commonly used for your staff teams. Under time clock and timesheet, these are actually different links right here. When you click time clock, this can be a way to clock in and out of your breaks. So that way, if you're going on lunch, you can go to the one that's in the back of the office or wherever it's at in your staff area. It's just a quicker way to clock in and out of your shift. Timesheet, then, that's where you're going to either go to approve your timesheet, maybe make a change request, things of that nature. Nationwide membership, we're using that currently for all of our members from other areas of the United States coming in. That goes right to the Nationwide membership portal. It's also one of our backups for the sex offender registry process. So that's going to be right where you click for that. And then in terms of reporting and finding out what types of discounts we have our Share the Y tracking sheet and our corporate membership current partners list. So this will show us all those employers throughout the region that we're building relationships with and offering incentives for their employees to join a membership. So these are all available on every branch page. So they're all going to look the same. From there, under these branch status reports, the idea behind this area is that we may have some things that are going on association-wide. For instance, maybe we're having an issue with power at one of the buildings, like maybe Wildwood is currently closed. So it's going to show across there that the Wildwood branch is closed, and the branch level, maybe that's more of the pool pump is down, or if there's an issue with one of our systems. Of course, that's going to be available on email as well, but this is just another way to communicate that information. Schedules, I've got lots of them. So My Fitness, this is going to be where we're booking those one-on-one appointments through Appointment King. Sports and Player Space, each branch has its own player space link, and that's going to go for our frontline teams to answer any sort of questions that parents have about, hey, I didn't hear from the sports department, or I'm at this place right now. Is this where my practice is at? So just for quick recall to find out that information. And then group fitness schedules, this links to our public website. And this is the Daxco scheduling system or software that we also have on the mobile app. So that way we're giving consistent information across the board. From there, I want to call attention to the membership inquiry form here. So the nice thing about this is when people are interested in membership, one of the keys that we have is to really find out about what's their interest in calling the Y. What are they interested in doing at the Y? But then also figuring out how, if we are inviting them in, how do we follow up with them to make sure that they are coming in for their visit, asking how their visit went, and making sure that we answer their questions in a holistic way. So when we fill these out, this actually goes right into Salesforce as a lead, and that'll be emailed then right to your specialist or whoever your designee is at your branch. and then to follow up with. This is hopefully going to help remove any need for a paper telephone inquiry log or Google Sheets or any of those other areas that you're using right now. So as we do that, it's automatically going to default to your branches. And then that's going to be how it's going to queue right to either your program director or whoever is in charge of following up on your leads. Under calendars, what I like about this is association calendar. That's going to be right now as I'm recording this video. We're currently in one promotion, Pay the Day. The cool thing about it is we're going to be able to link or have it as a calendar event, and then also have any sort of flyers or information actually attached to it as an attachment. And it could also have information about our member challenge that we're doing. Right now it's the Adventure Challenge. So as we build those out more, and it's stuff that's not just for our branch, it's all going to be on there as another way to find those resources. The branch calendar is kind of up to the local branch on how they want to use that. Carondelet's built theirs out a lot. It's going to show, I believe they use it kind of as a space board, so that way they have an idea about which classes are going on in this meeting room versus the other one. And for Wildwood, for instance, we're using it for a rental calendar as well. So just another way to figure out at the frontline team if somebody comes in and they're looking for this AOA activity that may not be listed on another area of the DAXCO app. It's all in one spot then to figure out where to direct people to. At the start, I had introduced that we're able to have the work order system on here. This is just for viewing purposes only. And there's a way then to actually just show your own branch. So for instance, Carondelet, this is going to show anything that's currently being ordered right now to be fixed. So let's say the hot tub's down, or treadmill number 5 is out. This is going to be at least show you that it's been reported. And then as the maintenance tech is working on it, it'll show you any sort of progress that's been made. Now this is available for anybody, but for those who have access to actually make a work order request, there is a link to do so. When you click this link, you will have to log in to do so, but at the very least, our frontline teams, should they not have access to make requests, they can view ones that are already on there. At the bottom, we have an area that this should be association-wide too, just showing program availability by age. And that's going to show you just me, myself, working in membership for a number of years. You guys get those questions of, what's there to do for my six-week-old or my 5-year-old? And so this is an option right here just to show the vast array of programs that we have, and then links to more information. How this site's set up is basically anything in orange is a link to find out more information. So, and all of this really connects then with our public website. The idea of this website is not to create another thing that we have to maintain. It's just a link to resources that we have in all sorts of different areas, both within DAXCO, within the public site, and so on. So for instance, when we click on swim lessons, it's going to go to the great site that marketing updated this past year, and find out all sorts of information about which lesson is going to be appropriate for their kids. And it's a great tool not only for our members, but for our staff then to really understand how those lessons connect with each other and really emphasize water safety and then more seamless progression. From there, that's about it actually for the branch pages. So really, as a program director or whoever's going to help facilitate your own branch page, the only things you're going to need to really update would be is if you wanted to use the branch status report feature. updating your Google Calendar. This is a calendar that you're already going to have. So if you're using it, it can show here. One of the things that we use at Wildwood is we actually use a Google Calendar for our MSA schedule. So you could use this space for that purpose as well. And then the last thing to update, whoops, are our slides here. And this, to be honest, we may just make into an association thing to show different incentives or programs that are going on. But if you want to get really fancy and talk about, here at Wildwood, for instance, we're going to be having a shutdown of the facility to replace the flooring up in the fitness center. It could be an area where you can communicate a little bit more and show more photos of things that are upcoming. Maybe it's a staff spotlight, all sorts of different options. And like I said, each branch is going to have their own page. They should look very, very identical to start, but they do allow for a little bit of customization then should that branch choose to do so. That's it for branches. Under programs, as I mentioned, marketing's done a phenomenal job on different videos. So we want to be able to show that off and use them as training tools, because what better training tools do we have than a lot of these are stories from our own members or staff, and really do a great job of encompassing the mission of those program areas. So not only videos to introduce the programs, but also some of those common resources that we're giving to our staff teams then and our members. Each one of these program areas is going to look very similar. With and I envision building that out a little bit more to hopefully include maybe our community health programs, some of those other areas that we just could use a little bit of extra support and training our staff on. Speaking of training, we have a pretty large training section here. And so I'm going to start off with the Y experience. So the nature of this whole training section is through the terms transformational versus transactional. So we're going to start transformational. I think back on a lot of the training videos that we have through Y of USA, and also some of them that have been created by the Gateway region and have been a part of our learning cohort that we've been a part of. So my favorite video, I think, that we have here at the Y is it's from 2015. It's relatively 3 years old at this point, but it takes place at our O'Fallon, Illinois YMCA, and really focuses on not just describing our facilities as having a swimming pool or the different program or the different facility features. We're really talking about the benefits of those and how they impact our communities. So I just think it's a great way to get somebody started here at the Y and understanding what we're here for in working with our community. On the subject of links, these are additional trainings that we can do. I recognize that currently a new staff member has probably 9 hours or so already of e-learnings, but these are great ones to do over the first maybe 30 days. And these link right to the YUSA e-learnings that are available on the Y Exchange. And that team member then can just sign right up and launch that. From there, more of the YUSA resources of how we show up, how we engage, and how that's going to impact the experience of our members coming in, and also our staff team. I think that these are things that we can connect not only for how we're impacting those who are coming into our facilities, but also those who are working hours and hours with, and making sure that we're taking some of those elements and supporting each other. From there, just more information that's available about the Y movement. I won't bore you with the rest of that currently. So let's go to a couple other sections. We'll have the training handbook accessible through here. And the cool thing is you can actually page on through, or you can open it up and print it, or trying to save paper, but just another way to view it. Also under training, as I mentioned really off the start, we have a lot of systems and membership. So I wanted to categorize those that we're using day-to-day in registration, and then those that are applicable for our day-to-day jobs. So clocking in and out, doing our annual Smarter Now trainings, and then our continuing education through iExchange. So these are subject to change, of course, if we update systems, but pretty easy to change these links. One of the nicer features of this is the DAXCO page actually links to all the training videos through the DAXCO Help Center. So if we are going to really get somebody started, it'll link us right to the DAXCO Essentials quiz and those applicable trainings. And then also, side by side, being able to use the training site as a sandbox where they can try out selling memberships, making changes, doing some of those things that aren't quite as frequent, and giving them a place that's really not going to be harmful at all, because it's designed then to try things, maybe make some mistakes, and then learn from them ultimately. But it goes through different things, not only membership related, but being a frontline team. I mean, we're doing everything from program registrations, getting people scheduled for childcare. These are different resources and videos then that are going to show you how to do those. And as I mentioned, it goes right to those training videos. So it could be something that somebody's been on the job for a couple weeks already, or a couple months, or maybe a couple years, and they just need some more information or practice in doing that particular item. From there, one of the pieces I really talked about on the branch pages was the Salesforce entry where you can log phone calls. Just as we're doing education on telephone inquiries, this video was made a few years ago, but it's a really great one to talk about how to really make sure that we're asking open-ended questions on a phone call, not just answering if they ask, hey, when can I come in for basketball? Not just saying, oh, you can come in from now until 9 p.m., but really figuring out if they're looking for recreational, or if they're interested in leagues, or at least finding out if they're a member, non-member, or what's really sparking their interest in visiting today. And finally, employee handbook. So this will be up to date as well. So if they ever need to reference it for something related to their own job, or maybe even discounts that are available for part-time staff versus full-time on programs, that's all listed in here. And then really the last two big areas that are really on here are going to be SOPs. They're all on a Google Drive. So these will always be up to date. And those are going to be those great how-tos of how to do everything from sell a membership to how to run somebody through Raptor, and whatever types of special instructions there might be for a membership. And last but not least on this site, we have created a kind of a form repository here. So it's going to have all of our current membership forms, change forms, and then any applicable program area forms that we may have as an association. So the beauty of the site is we can continue to enhance it. This is the first version of it, and looking forward to hopefully supporting your teams. It's been a big hit of the couple branches I've been at that we've used something similar, and yeah. So let me know if any questions.